Get into agreement with God. Get into agreement with your dreams. Stop telling yourself that you can't do it. Stop telling yourself you got to get another person in office before we can do it. Stop telling yourself you got to make more money before you can do it, or you got to have the right connections or the right relationships or the right body or the right age or the right spouse or the right children. Like, stop all of that and get into agreement with your desires. Well, hello there, prosperity seeker, and welcome to another episode of The Prosperity Approach. I'm your host, Allyson Chavez, and I'm excited and humbled that you are listening in or watching today. I am very much looking forward to our conversation today about getting faster results without massive action. Yes, you heard me right. Getting faster results without massive action. I don't know about you, but two words that feel like nails on the chalkboard to me are massive action. And I've been in business for a very, very long time. I've been working in my online company for 10 years now. And every business coach that I talk to talks about massive action. And you know what? I have to say that overarching, massive action has done one thing for me consistently, made me exhausted. Massive action. And massive action comes from being completely in the masculine energy of the do and the go and the make it happen and the figure it out and the produce and the execute and all of that, which has its place, all right? So me teaching feminine and masculine energy is not to vilify the masculine, because that is the other energy of creation. There's two of them, feminine energy and masculine energy. We got to marry the two. We got to have a balance between the two and create an alliance with those two so that they're serving each other well. But feminine needs to lead, and feminine is not about massive action. Feminine is the being energy and masculine is the doing energy. And so when I continually got told massive action, I was just like, gird up your loins, girls. We're going to have to sprint up this mountain again. In fact, I remember I was in a group program not too long ago, and the facilitator of it was asking what keeps people from getting to their dreams. And people were putting in the chat what they thought kept people from their dreams. And one of them was not taking massive action. And I was like, I don't agree with that. I don't think action has to be massive. In fact, I think more often than not, it needs to not be massive action. Is action important? Yes. Is action part of it? Yes. Is action first? No. Action is not first. If you want faster results, get out of massive action and get into alignment first. All right. So what is alignment actually? I love what Joel Osteen says, and I don't know whether he calls this alignment, but this is what I call alignment. Get into agreement with God. Get into agreement with your dreams. Stop telling yourself that you can't do it. Stop telling yourself you got to get another person in office before we can do it. Stop telling yourself you got to make more money before you can do it, or you got to have the right connections or the right relationships or the right body or the right age or the right spouse or the right children. Like, stop all of that and get into agreement with your desires. And your desires are put there by God, which means God wants you to create your desires on this physical plane and be able to experience your desires on this physical plane. So really, you're getting into agreement with God about your greatness, not from an arrogant point of view, but from your ability and from possibility. Get into agreement with God first. That's how you align. Now, if that's too ethereal, then just start agreeing that your dreams are a possibility. In some reality, those dreams are a possibility. Maybe not in this current one, but somewhere in my imagination anyway, they're real. So that counts. And that's one of the ways you get into alignment with your vision and with your dreams, is you start agreeing with that. Like, yes, that's actually a possibility. Yes, it's a possibility. Now, I haven't gone from possibility to probability to inevitability to reality yet, but it starts with agreeing that it is a possibility. So get into alignment first, then get into action, not massive action, inspired action. What is inspired action? Esther Hicks says that inspired action is action that's inspired by alignment. So when you get into agreement with God and you get into agreement with your dreams and your visions, now you're aligned. And now the action that you're going to take is inspired because you're aligned. You're saying yes. All right, so yes, if this is a possibility, what could I do that would push the needle forward and get me closer to my dream and pull my dream closer to me? Inspired action is so much better to take than massive action or busy action. When you're in busy action, when you feel like you're just flinging mud against the wall, hoping some of it will stick. And it gets to be like this Hail Mary, just splatter all over the place. And I'm very familiar with that feeling and that kind of action, that busy action. But that busy action is not inspired by alignment. It's inspired by, I got to do something. I got to do something. But if you're not aligned, it doesn't matter what you do. The results aren't going to land the way you want them to land, which means the results are more than likely not going to be as what you hoped they would be. And sure as heckify, your experience is not going to be what you want it to be. If you're in massive action all the time, busy action all the time, you start micromanaging the journey because you're not in certainty. Sometimes you're in hope, but more often than not, you're in desperation. All right, what else could I do today? What else could I do today? What else could I do today? I gotta do something to try to mitigate whatever was going on or to turn this boat around or whatever it is. Oh my gosh, just even talking about it just makes me feel anxious on one hand, but then exhausted on the other. So set down the massive action. It is not required. Inspired action is. And if you find yourself getting into massive action that doesn't feel inspired, it doesn't feel aligned, there's this bit of desperation energy behind it, like I'll do anything, set that down as well. And at that point, the inspired action you must take is to get back into alignment. Get back into agreement with God that these desires are given to you by a higher power who knows so much more than you, who can see so much farther ahead than you can, and gave them to you because not only are you capable of creating that desire that you feel in your heart and that you see in your mind, but it's kind of your duty to do it. You've been called to do it. Trust that. Get into agreement there. Get back into alignment. And from that place, then ask yourself, what's one thing that I could do? What's one piece of action that I could take that will get me closer to my dream and bring my dream closer to me? I don't believe in massive action anymore, just like I don't believe in seasons of grind. And I don't believe in hustle because hustle is all about scarcity. And grind is all about force. We're going to grind this thing out. We're going to grind these two things together. I'm going to force this round peg into this square hole. No, we don't want force, ladies. We want flow. We want flow. Now, there are times when we do need to pick up the pace of our action. And sometimes we do take what feels to us at that point, it feels like big action or massive action. Ambitious action. But ambitious action can be broken down into very manageable bite-sized pieces that you do every day or a couple of times a day to get you to your dream. But first and foremost, get into agreement with God. Get into agreement with your dreams. And then ask the question, what might I do? What could I do? Let's take a step in the right direction, and let's take the right step in the right direction. And the right step is the aligned step. And alignment is so much fun. And alignment is so darn juicy and so simple. Now, if you have a hard time getting into alignment because you're addicted to all of the action and you're addicted to the massive action, but you're seeing where the massive action is just sending you into burnout, it's sending you into feeling unfulfilled, it's sending you into even some overwhelm, certainly some frustration, let's have a conversation. I've opened up my calendar this week for some complimentary consult calls. Let's see where you're at. Let's see where you want to be in the next 6 to 9 months. This is a perfect time to do it. We're getting ready to wrap up the end of the year, put a nice pretty bow on it, be done with this energy and get into the creative energy of the following year. And so let's have a conversation. Let's see if it makes sense for us to work together. Let me tell you what this is going to look like. You'll click on my booking link. You can schedule a call, but there is an application that you must fill out before we can have a phone call. It just makes the call go faster. It helps us get to the point and helps me make the call more valuable for you. If it doesn't make sense to work together, either in my group programs or on a one-on-one, I will give you other resources that would make more sense for where you're at. So schedule a call, fill out the application. It's all 100% complimentary. Consider it my Christmas gift to you. Let's see if it makes sense for us to work together in this year moving forward. And until then, remember, prosperity becomes you.